right, we are here at my indoor tiny worm bin, and there were kind of three things I wanted to kind of talk about for this feeding. And one was we put a whole banana peel in here 2 feedings ago, and it had a little chunk of banana, and the worms had stripped that down to just the peel last time. So we'll see if they have taken apart any of that peel. We also put a little section of egg carton in here with some food, and I really am interested to see if we got a worm ball, and maybe that'll help us tell exactly how many, not exactly, but how many worms are in here, because our estimate is 275 after starting with 50 to 100 when we built this bin. And then finally, we had a pretty sizable apple core and a whole carrot, and I want to see if those are fast or slow food. I have a feeling both of them are actually fast, to include that carrot. And it was a raw carrot. I don't think it had been frozen. So let's go ahead and dive in here and see what we have. Now this bin is actually 130 days old, and right away we're seeing worms right on the surface. So that's fantastic. Yeah, it's 130 days old, and it's had 16 feedings. This will be the 17th. And it was 7 days since the last feeding. So, you know, starting with so few worms to now, it's really accelerating as far as castings go and stuff. And there's another worm right there, just kind of sticking to me. But the bin is feeling moisture as expected. And here's that apple core. So going a little bit slower than I thought, and I do see a lot of mites on it. In fact, maybe we'll pause here. I'll try and hold this still, and we'll see if we can see those mites going. All right, that should be enough to see the mites moving about. But you know, this thing is I mean, I can see little tunnels, and it's been attacked pretty good. But we'll put this over here. I may have fed a little bit too much, in which case we'll hold back on some of the feeding. But here's that carrot. I think that's the carrot, and you can actually see the fibers of the carrot. And there's a worm going right through. Whoa. There's a worm kind of tunneling right through it, but this is the carrot with the fibers within the carrot going. So this is breaking down, and then the worms are ingesting it, but that's pretty cool. So they did not get broken down within 7 days, and that may be because the food that I put in here was so much. In here, I thought might be remnants of the, oh, that's a strawberry top. They eat the strawberry first and then the green part, but I thought I might have felt the banana peel, but right here is a cocoon. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see that. Maybe I'll angle here, but right on the tip of my thumb is a cocoon. If you ever wonder what a cocoon looks like, and inside is anywhere from 1 to 5 baby worms. These are all red wigglers in here. So hopefully you can see that real well. But, all right. Okay, so here's another chunk. This is another apple core, and I see some worms crawling through it. So again, it didn't go within 7 days. And who knows, that may be because we fed too much, or it just takes a little bit longer. So let's just keep diving in here. And like I said last video, these older bins will tend to get more moist no matter how much, you know, even if you keep the feedings the same, because worm castings retain moisture really well. That's one of the properties of them that people like. And so I've just got to make sure that I don't go too crazy with moisture. Now this is the banana peel. That is like a tiny shrunken, well, no, it may be the celery. I don't know. We'll put it to the side and see. I'm just not sure, because once this stuff starts decaying and the worms get to it, it can be confusing. But we'll keep looking for that banana peel. And let's also try and find, here it is. We're starting to see parts of it. That is the egg carton. Let's see if we can get that out. Oh wow, look how fat. Look at the size of those worms. They were right underneath this, so I'm thinking we're gonna find some good stuff in here. Here's another couple of the worms right there, right underneath it. So let's see what we've got in here. I see another one. I see a fat one. I see a baby one right there. I'll just kind of break it apart. Still, I have to remember this is okay, right in through here you see several. You see a little orange tail right there. Got to remember this is such a small population in here, so any amount of worms I find in here is great. So I wouldn't call this a worm ball by any stretch of the imagination. And right at the end of my thumb right there is another cocoon. So it's almost as if I'm breaking a breeding ground. But I wouldn't say there's a worm ball in here, but there's definitely the worms enjoy being here. So maybe I'll try and keep that intact. So this feeding is a little more intact than I had expected. And so that just means that we'll feed a little bit less. Again, lots of worms. Again, I say lots of worms, certainly not as much as my outdoor or indoor bin, but you know, I'm always speaking relative to the last time I was in here or what I've seen in the past in this bin. So things are looking on the up and up. Oh, another, I don't know if you'd be able to see that, but another cocoon. I'm just seeing so many cocoons throughout this bin. We'll just kind of look in the corners. A lot of times the worms like to go in the corners. I'm not sure why, but here's 1, 2, 3, 4 worms down in there. Hopefully you can see them. But this may be part of that banana peel. In fact, this does look like banana peel. This looks like the flower part of the banana, the end of the banana. The stem would be somewhere up here. So that may be, you know, what is that, 14 days or so that it took to kind of really decimate the banana peel. Again, here's another piece of the banana peel. And this was a banana peel that had been peeled, but all the sections were connected at that flower portion, and it had a little chunk of banana in it. So let's keep looking over here. We were in here earlier, but I didn't quite get to all the way to the corner. No sign of the banana peel there. Let's keep going this way. This is pretty amazing, all the worms we're finding. Again, you know, 50 to 100 we started with. We estimate 275 now, and I'm just going to keep this bin. This population of worms is going to stay in here and reside in here, you know, even when I pull finished castings out of here. And this bin is definitely heavier than when we started, so they are absolutely producing as we're putting more food in for them. Lots of worms, lots. I mean, just right there, all over the place. And you can see, I mean, the paper, the office paper that originally was in here, you can see just smatterings of it. I pulled a lot of that out and put cardboard in there, but it's few and far between relative to when this bin first started, where it was just all you could see was office paper. So this bin is getting more and more castings. Like I said last time, I think we're maybe a couple months from being able to harvest. Just one little section here I haven't got to that I just kind of want to dig through a little bit and aerate, which is another term for playing with the worms. But also just making sure I don't have pockets of, you know, food not getting digested or, you know, sitting liquid in the bin. And here looks like the rest of that banana peel. So it's now in chunks, probably from me digging in here a little bit, but there's certainly, it's almost down to like paper thin. When you put a melon in or like a pepper in, it'll get it down almost to like a piece of plasticky thin film, and that's about where this is heading, the direction it's heading in for this banana peel. So, all right, I think that about will do it for the digging around and aerating. Let's go ahead and set up the feeding zone. We'll put all this stuff in the feeding zone also. The feeding is going to be smaller for sure compared to the last one. And what I'll do is I'll put down some bedding. I always like to put in bedding. As we get much closer to harvesting, I'll put less bedding in. but right now we can still afford to put this bedding in here. So bedding helps to regulate the moisture. They certainly need it. There's that egg carton section. And as I put in this food, you know, previously frozen food that I'm about to do, that bedding helps to absorb the moisture as it gets put in there. So we'll go with a lettuce head now. I did a lettuce head experiment in my other bin and it went really fast. And this is a previously frozen lettuce head, so I'm not too worried about it being stuck around for a while, since I know. I certainly like doing experiments because then it teaches me more about the bin. And we'll put a little bit more lettuce in here. And that may be, maybe I can find a strawberry form because I know they go through that pretty quick. But that may be it for this feeding. I think we'll just kind of go a little bit lower on the amount of food. And that's what I like to do. Come in here every 7 days and then judge how much food, you know, I need based on what I see. And this coffee is another food source for them. You know, I don't want to put in food and then guess, okay, let's just do 10 days from now or 14 days from now. I like to be in here every 7 days, and then from there I'll adjust the food. It's just how I like to work. I mean, everybody works their bins differently, but I think we've got the food, we got the coffee, we've got the grit, and then we'll bury it here. And that will probably be the end for playing with this worm bin, I mean feeding it. And then we will come in here and check it in another 7 days. Here's one of those pieces of plastic from the office paper. I didn't shred the office paper. When I started this bin in the vermicomposting class, they gave us the office paper. So we will keep finding that and getting rid of it. But when I shred, I cut out those windows or tear them out. All right, I think that will about do it. So I hope everybody's having a great day, and happy vermicomposting, everybody. Take care now.